Welcome back everyone to the Sim Racing Show, your weekly dose for all of the news in the world of sim racing. And it's arguably one of the biggest weeks of sim racing news we've ever had. We've got huge Assetto Corsa Evo news, including a massive open world and new cars. We've got the massive iRacing update, Le Mans Ultimate DLC, third DLC pack, big Gran Turismo news with new Sophie updates, B-Spec and a new car, and Forza Motorsport update 15 as well. Loads more as well to come in the Sim Racing Show. But let's start with the Assetto Corsa Evo and the open world news, because this is the news that everyone was waiting for, right? In fact, if you think I'm right, leave a map emoji in the comments, or a globe if there is one. Because Kunos has officially revealed exciting details about the open world map for the upcoming title Assetto Corsa Evo. So it's known as Eiffel, and the map is inspired by the real world Nürburgring region in Germany, an area obviously famous among motorsport enthusiasts. And the studio looked to have taken a meticulous approach here to the design. So they've employed laser scanning technology to recreate about a 600 square mile, which I think is about 1600 square kilometers of the landscape, they say, with near perfect accuracy. So although the full map will eventually gain a kind of like, will cover that expansive area, it's worth noting, I want you to be aware that players will initially have access to a smaller yet to be defined section when the game releases in early access on January 16, 2025, and the full version of the map is set to roll out incrementally starting in the summer of 2025. Kunos also say they've developed a proprietary terrain technology to ensure that the landscape reflects the kind of intricacies of the Nürburgring region. Adding to this experience, this is quite unusual, Assetto Corsa Evo will feature interactive local businesses. So these establishments, such as the Vulcan Alpha tuning shop near the Nürburgring, will allow players to upgrade and customize their vehicles. Kunos apparently have even invited regional businesses to apply for inclusion in the game, so that might emphasize a real focus on automotive culture. Sounds a bit like Test Drive Unlimited, or what Test Drive Unlimited was back in the day, which is very tantalizing. Obviously, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown really hasn't reached those heights. And also, I want to let you know that a sneak preview of Assetto Corsa Evo will be available this weekend at Indianapolis at the Performance Racing Industry Show. So if you're going to be there, do let me know. Last time I got hands-on with the game was at the Sim Racing Expo in Germany, and as you know, I was pleasantly surprised. But that's not everything, because new Assetto Corsa Evo cars were also spotted in the footage. But before we get into that, I just want to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, GT Mega, who provided me with a sim rig you can see behind me, and also my latest videos. If you would like to grab something from GT Mega, maybe for the Christmas holidays, I do have a 5% discount. It's an extra discount as well, so just go to www.gtomega.com, see what you like on the website, and if you do decide to buy something, put Kireth5 in as a code and get an extra 5% off. Big thanks to GT Mega for being such a long-standing supporter of the channel. Now let's get onto the cars, because the recent unveiling of Evo to open world environment was showcased by Misha Shalderin, who certainly knows the area very well, and Traction.gg identified several new cars featured in the reveal video. Now, last new car to be revealed, I think we exclusively revealed on this channel with some of the menus we went into at the Sim Racing Expo, probably weren't meant to, and this is confirming actually one of them here, which is Toyota Ep37. But let me go through them. So, Lancia Delta HF Integrale, that appeared earlier in the trailer. The Abarth 595, which was the grey post-2016 facelift version of the hot hatch, was seen exploring the environment. The Toyota GR86, that was in one of the menus we kind of went into Sim Racing Expo, stood out in a scene discussing Nürburgring traffic in a red variant. Audi RS3 4th generation. Two versions of the RS3 were featured actually. A green version and also a red Sportback with unique wheels. BMW M2 Coupe, car getting a lot of attention at the moment, was seen chasing the RS3, and that's the latest generation M2, so that's a real modern car in Assetto Corsa Evo. Mazda MX-5 NA and the Lotus Exige Series 3 were parked side by side at the 27 restaurant, and those classics returned from the original Assetto Corsa, if you remember. And a Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 was spotted at the same location, so we know we're getting American muscle as well. These additions join previous cars that we know about, like the Hyundai i30, Volkswagen Golf GTI, and the BMW M4 CSL, and the Lotus Emira as well. It's also been an exciting week for Le Mans Ultimate fans, as a third DLC pack was released on 10th December, costing $13.99, adding 3 GT3 cars into Lagos. 10th December was a crazy day for sim racing, by the way, one of the biggest days ever in sim racing for updates. But it's controversial still that Le Mans Ultimate are charging for DLC even though the game is in early access. You've got the BMW M4 GT3, Corvette Z06 GT3, and the Ferrari 296 GT3, and the McLaren 720S GT3 arrives as a free download for all Le Mans Ultimate players. So that one's coming for free. They're also launching a new hosted service features, allowing private league racing for the first time. They added a World Endurance Championship broadcast overlay and also physics overhauled. And they say that VR, the beta VR mode, should now be able to be launched natively from Steam. You shouldn't have to fiddle around doing stuff. So Le Mans Ultimate keeps coming with the updates, but you know, against the likes of iRacing, against the likes of the incoming Assetto Corsa Evo, I think it's really difficult for Le Mans Ultimate. But let's get on to other game updates. I mean, fingers crossed for Le Mans Ultimate. They keep coming with the updates. They do keep delivering. It's not the vaporware some people were saying it could potentially be. So iRacing, the granddaddy, kicks off 2025 a little bit early with the Season 1 update. 5 new cars, 2 tracks, and lots of improvements. Remember, all of these cars and tracks you got... Well, actually, not all of them actually this time. Normally you do. So the GT3 Evo, Acura comes GT3. BMW M2 CSR is free content. You don't need to pay for it. Ferrari 499p Hypercar comes, which is insane. The Supercar Gen 3 models come. The Chevrolet Camaro and Ford Mustang. You have to pay for, and the previous models have gone down to legacy content, which I think means they're cheaper. But basically, unlike Le Mans Ultimate, where you get a bundle for $13.99 and you get the 3 cars on a track, in iRacing normally you have to pay for every track and car separately. The update in iRacing also introduces Huset Speedway, which is a dirt oval, and Thruxton's coming. So Thruxton has a drivable infield runway, should be good for drag races. New Hampshire Motor Speedway coming, sorry, not coming, it's got an art refresh, so there's new art there for that one. They've added a debris refresh, which improves gravel and mud physics. They say they've expanded the rain racing, spotted damage effects for better race strategy. They say the netcode's got better, which is a big thing. Enhanced lighting as well. Demo drive should be better, they say. 400 new setups for car customization. So absolutely insane, kind of like iRacing, how much they just keep coming with every update. Very difficult for the other sims to keep track with, but I really enjoy competition in the sim racing space. But you have to say iRacing at the moment, if they can get over that tyre model or kind of convince people that the tyre model isn't so bad, I think they've just got an absolute killer app for sim racing. So yeah, let me know, by the way, in the comments, do you think iRacing is the leader in sim racing, or do you think it's not? Because I want to make sure that I've got my ear to the ground there on that. Talking about Forza Motorsport previously, Turn 10 has rolled out update 15. Bathurst has come. So the Forza Motorsport kind of resurgence is continuing. A lot of stuff that should have been in the game at launch, we know, but they're adding it. They've added a lot of tracks post-launch. So Map Panorama is here. In addition to this is very interesting. PC players have gained access to ray trace global illumination, so should be much better lighting for PC players if you've got a beastly graphics card. Be interesting to compare that against a recent update for Gran Turismo 7 on PS5, so much cheaper PS5 versus a gaming PC, but that introduced ray tracing in-game. So Forza also have added the Holden SCV Commodore Group A SV, and they've added new tours like the Australian Tour and the Open Class Tour, which features a Holden HSV GTS, so giving an Australian theme to this one. A bit like iRacing, Forza say the multiplayer is also receiving big updates, rolling starts for specific races, an improved safety rating system, audio enhancement, improved rendering for PC, and tweaks to race regulations. I understand as well that the popular NASCAR series is basically now a permanent fixture in the online multiplayer, and update 15 sets the stage for 2025's update 16, which we know is going to spotlight BMW. The Logitech McLaren G Challenge also returns. I'll have a video on that later this week. Gran Turismo 7 has also brought a sneak peek of some big new features this week. So, a recent demonstration of Gran Turismo Sophie at the GT World Series Finals in Amsterdam showcase integrating Sophie, GT Sophie, as a teammate rather than a competitor. So this setup closely follows, you guessed it, B-Spec, the feature last seen in Gran Turismo 6, where players manage the AI drivers by setting pace, calling them in for pit stops, all that kind of fun stuff as well. And that interface in the demonstration that we saw in Amsterdam did allow players to adjust Sophie's speed, ranging from slowest to fastest, alongside commands for overtaking and pitting. And the AI gave kind of feedback on that through those annoying emojis, which is meant to be providing kind of its thoughts on how appropriate your decisions actually are, which could add some gameplay element in races. However, it's not confirmed whether this mode will become a full feature in Gran Turismo 7, but we do know prolifically watch these videos, so let me know in the comments what you think about it, and maybe they will see it. Coming back to Le Mans Ultimate, it is now being confirmed, and it's quite confusing to understand, but it is a 2-tiered subscription service coming with the next update, which is dividing opinion massively. Race Control Pro and Race Control Pro Plus will allow subscribers to participate in exclusive daily races plus multi-season online championships. Pro Plus members will also gain access to all of Studio 397's content across Le Mans Ultimate and R Factor 2 for the duration of the membership, which costs 78 euros per year versus the base level's 42 euros. So we'll have to see whether that represents value for money or not. We know we have models like Race Room, we've got iRacing with the subscription. Wait and see what Assetto Corsa Evo is going to do. But Le Mans Ultimate is not afraid to ask for your money, and I know a lot of people are enjoying the game, but it's interesting to see. That's the Sim Racing Show for this week. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed it. Go check me out on Spotify as well, link in the description. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.